Respected Dr. Anant Achari, Principal, Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology Autonomous, Dr. S. Jaya Devi, Head of the Department, Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, Professor J. Uma Maheshwari, Webinar Coordinator and Faculty, Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, and all the participants, a very good evening to all of you. I, on behalf of the management, the principal, and the head of the Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, the webinar coordinator, I welcome each and every participant to this webinar on communication skills for aspiring engineers. Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology, Autonomous, was founded in the year 1998. With over 22 years of exceptional service to the student community and the society at large, imparting technical education with high proficiency, human values, and lifelong learning, Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology has marked its place high in education. It is accredited by NAC with the highest grade A for 5 years. It offers 11 UG programs and 6 postgraduate programs to its students. Out of the 11 UG programs, 5 programs are accredited by the National Board of Accreditation for Quality Education. Recently, the college was also vested with the autonomous status. The Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering has been at the forefront in producing proficient and ethical engineers since the inception of the college. It has signed MOUs with National Instruments Bangalore and NIWE Chennai. As an instrumentation engineer, students have the scope to work in core companies across different manufacturing sectors and also in the field of information technology and services. It has a proven placement record to its credit with a very strong industry institute interaction activities like consultancy works, industrial projects, internships, industrial visits, to name a few, that forms the integral part of learning and growth of every student and staff at Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology. Today, I stand as a proud alumni of this great institution, and I was part of the 4th batch of engineering students of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering. My character was built at my home, at my church, and at the school where I studied. But my personality was shaped at this great institution and through the opportunities that this college and the instrumentation department provided to me. I consider this day as one of the memorable days of my life. I, as a proud alumni of the Electronics and Instrumentation Department of Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology, is deeply honored and privileged to be the resource person and the speaker for this webinar. I thank Almighty God, the management, the principal, the head of the department, the webinar coordinator, and also my teachers for stepping me into this stage today. With these words, I would like to start the webinar. Before we go into the webinar, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Joseph. I did my engineering in electronics and instrumentation engineering from Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology. I completed it in the year 2005. I was part of the 4th batch of the students. And after my engineering, I went on to pursue my management studies. I did my MBA from Mumbai. And then I joined the banking industry. I was with the banking industry working with some leading MNCs and leading brands in India. I was there for almost 8 years in the banking industry. In the meantime, I completed my PhD. So I am a doctor now. After completing my PhD, I took a shift in my career. I moved to teaching as my profession because teaching was my passion. And I have been teaching for almost 6 years for MBA students especially. I have taught in engineering colleges and currently am associated with Kristu Jayanti College in Bengaluru, one of the top colleges in the country. And I work in the MBA department and I teach systems and analytics papers to the MBA students. So with this background, let us quickly move on to the webinar. So the topic for the day is communication skills for aspiring engineers. communication skills for aspiring engineers is the theme for the day. Before we move on, just I wanted to highlight that questions may be posted in the chat window. Because it is through the YouTube, you may not be able to interact with me. The only scope is to interact through the chat window. So you may post your questions in the chat window. Please do not unnecessarily send messages in the chat window, as it will be difficult for me to pick the right questions and answer your questions. All right. So you can post your questions in the chat window. I encourage each and every one to post it. If any doubts, I can clarify that. Okay. So let me start with my personal story, how I was transformed in the area of communication. And then we'll see a little bit of theoretical concepts of the communication. I was born and brought up in the Tirunelveli district, the down south of Tamil Nadu. I was a very shy personality. I wouldn't talk to anyone. I had a lot of communication problems. I had a lot of barriers when it comes to the area of communication. It so happened once my mother, one fine day morning, so 9 o'clock was my school, and it was almost like 7:45, 8. And at the time, my mom told that go to the shop nearby quickly and get one coconut. So she somehow forgot uh, the requirement of the coconut to prepare the lunch. And then she told me to go to the nearby shop, get a coconut. And I went there. I found that the shop was fully crowded. It's a small shop in the corner of the street, but there are too many people over there. The shopkeeper was busy, servicing the customers, and I was also there standing. I was, I guess, I was in my sixth or seventh standard. I was also standing there. I was standing there for a while. I was expecting the shopkeeper to look at me and ask me, "Hey, what do you want?" But he never bothered to look at me. He was busy servicing all those big people who were grown-ups who were standing in the queue. So I was standing there. It took a lot of time, and I just need one coconut. I could have easily asked and get the coconut. But I was waiting. And the shop was continuously, it was engaged with a lot of customers. And suddenly I noticed my mother standing behind, and she said, "What are you doing for so much time?" And she scolded me, and she also scolded the shopkeeper. And then she said, "No need to buy coconut. I have done some alternative. Come home, get ready for the school." I was in that state of communication, right? I was very hesitant to open up to speak. I had a lot of barriers. And I still remember my first opportunity to go onto a stage and speak. It was there in my school. My school provided me an opportunity. It was during the morning assembly prayer. So when I was in my 10th standard, I was asked to go up to the stage and I need to recite the prayer. When I recite the prayer, the entire school will follow me by repeating the prayer. So I still remember that day. That was my first day on stage. I still remember it. My hands were shaking, my legs were shaking, my lips were shaking. I was not getting the words. So that day I realized that I had a huge problem in speaking in front of a group of people. I was very afraid. I was very afraid of the crowd over there. And then I need to close my eyes and speak the prayer. But still, it was very difficult for me. But then I had a transformational journey. My communication skills were improved a lot after a particular time. That is where, when I joined Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology to do my engineering. In my first year, we attended a personality development program, and that program made a great impact in my personal and career life. I learned a lot of things in that particular personal development program. What I learned was I need to improve my communication, and how to go about improving that communication. I learned through that. But then I learned the theoretical concepts to improve my communication. But when did I see the improvement is when I started practicing what I learned, practicing the methods to improve the communication. It was at that point of time my communication improved. Until then, I never realized that I could communicate uh, effectively. So that was a brief background of mine, all right? And here and there, I will add my personal stories. So with this background, we'll move on, right? First of all, what is communication? Communication is a skill. What do you mean by a skill? Skill means an ability. If you open the dictionary meaning of skill is an ability. It's an ability to listen to others. Communication is an ability to write clearly. It's an ability to speak confidently, clearly. It's an ability to read, understand, and interpret. So, communication involves all these four activities: listening, writing, reading, and speaking. Today, I'm not going to tell you how to write a letter or how to write a proposal or how to, read and interpret or how to go and deliver a speech on stage, public speaking. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work on the basics of communication. If you have to cross all the barriers and bring out the person within you who can communicate better. So at the end of this webinar, you should be able to understand the process of communication and what you need to do in order to improve this particular ability or the skill, the communication skill, what I am talking about. Imagine the art of drawing and painting. If I ask you a question, or if I ask each and every one of you to draw me a painting, I'm sure not all will be good at drawing and painting. Few, by default, they'll have this particular skill. Drawing and painting is a skill, an ability. They might naturally have this particular skill. Many of you may not have the skill of drawing and painting. Drawing and painting is also an ability, a skill. When I say an ability, at any point of time in your life, you can practice it and you can develop this particular skill of drawing and painting. But all those people who cannot paint or who think that who you cannot paint or you don't have that skill, if you make an attempt to learn drawing and painting, I'm sure you would be able to improve on that. But suppose there are 100 people who think that they cannot paint and they wanted to learn painting. Not all will be able to learn it at the same speed. Few might learn painting in 1 week, few might take 10 to 15 days, few might take 1 month, probably few might take even 1 year. But if they practice, they will be able to improve their drawing and painting skill. Communication is similar to this particular skill, like painting and drawing. Few people are blessed with that ability to communicate with others clearly, precisely, crisply. Many of us are not by birth blessed with this skill of communication. Given that scenario, since communication is also a skill and ability, at any point of your time, you will be able to work on that skill, learn that skill, and you can improve that, provided if you are willing to learn and if you are committed to improve your communication skill. Otherwise, you will never see any improvement in your communication skill. Similar to the painting example, not all of us will be able to quickly learn this communication skill. It's an art, it's an ability. Few might be able to quickly learn and will be able to improve their communication in 1 month's time. Few might take 2 months, few might take 6 months, few might take even 1 year. It's fine, but please start it today so that one day you will also be a better communicator. Coming to the communication from the perspective of an engineer. Most of us are engineers, or we are just studying the engineering course, or we wanted to do an engineering course. So from an engineer's perspective, communication can be, according to me, it can have three forms, three types. Number one, it may be one-to-one communication. Number two, It may be one to many. Number three, it may be many to many. So communication may take any one of these three forms. You and me as engineer. It may be one to one, it may be one to many, and it may be many to many. What are these? Let us discuss one by one. Number one, communication one to one. One to one is, suppose if I talk to you personally, face to face, it is one to one. I interacting with you and you interacting with me. It is one to one communication. You and me as engineers, when we sit on an interview, job interview, it's going to be one to one. So you as an engineer needs to be prepared to face that interview, which is going to be one to one communication. We need communication to share whatever knowledge we have in that interview to get a job. After you get a job, sometimes you need to interact with your boss. You need to convince him on a particular project, on a particular proposal. You might be required to talk to your boss. Sometimes you need to interact with your team member, your co-worker in the same project. You need to talk to him. You need to understand him. You need communication over there. Sometimes you need to interact with your customer. You as an engineer offer an engineering solution, a technology to your customer, and you need to explain that to the customer, and you need to make the customer buy that product. You need to make the customer understand that particular product. You need to make the customer understand that this particular engineering technology would benefit him. One-to-one communication is required. When you speak over a phone to your clients or to your boss or to your colleague or to anyone, communication is required. It's one-to-one. When you write an email or when you communicate through any one of the social media through one-to-one, you need communication skills. That is one-to-one. Number two, communication is going to be one to many for you and me as engineers. When you sit in the same interview room, sometimes you will have what is called as a panel interview. A one-to-one face-to-face interview is one person interviewing you. If it's a panel interview, there may be a panel of 3 members or 4 members who will be asking you questions, who will be interviewing you simultaneously. So you will be sitting at one side, there'll be 3 or 4 people in the interview panel. One to many. You need to talk to 4 people now. You need to convince them that you are the right candidate for that particular job. You are the right candidate who this panel is searching for. You need communication to crack that. When you make presentation to your team, after you get a job, you are in a project team, you are part of a big team, you are making your presentation of your concept, your idea, you communicating it to your entire team. When you make presentation to your company senior manager, you are giving a proposal to your manager, senior management, you are making presentations. Within your team is easy. It's like you speaking to your classroom. You talking to your classroom is a one-to-many communication. But in the job, sometimes you will be required to make presentation to senior management. Do you understand the importance of communication? You don't speak to the senior management every day. You might get an opportunity once and you need to impress. Communication helps you there. When you make presentation to the officials from your client companies, sometimes you go to the client office, you make presentations, the company representatives will be seated there, you make presentations. Sometimes you make presentations to your suppliers, to your dealers, to your distributors. You make presentation. A new product launch, you make presentation. How to go about the distribution, you make presentation. Right? It's going to be one to many. Communication is very crucial for you and me as engineers. Number 3, the third form of communication is going to be many to many. What does it mean? During your interview process, job interview process, you have a round called as group discussion. What do you do that? You are in a team. All are talking to you. You need to talk to everyone. It is like many to many. All will be sharing their own points. Yet you should not be diverted and you should be able to communicate clearly and how the dynamics works, how you are going to manage that particular conversation many to many in a group discussion determined by this particular skill called communication. When you're part of a team discussion, a brainstorming session, there's a problem, a client is facing a problem, and your team is breaking their head to find a solution for that. You are part of that particular team to solve that particular problem. It's many to many. Your boss might be there, your entire team might be there. And it's a kind of a group discussion. You try to brainstorm and find a solution. It is also an example for many to many. So communication forms three types. Number one to one. It may be one to many, or it may be many to many. Right? So three types the communication falls into. Now, if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat window. I will address it. Otherwise, we'll take it towards the end of the session. Okay. When can you as an engineer communicate effectively? Or if you have to communicate effectively, what are the ingredients? Suppose if you want to make sambar, you need dal, you need vegetables, you need a lot of other ingredients to make sambar taste good, smell good, and look good. In the same way, if you as an engineer need to communicate effectively, if you want to make your communication look better, what are the ingredients? Three things, note down. Number one, content. Number one, content. Number two, confidence. Number two, confidence. Number three, clarity. So three ingredients you need to make your communication better. Number one, content. Number two, confidence. Number three, clarity in your communication. Let us see each and every one of this. So first one, content. So as I said, the sambar example, without dal, how would you make sambar? Without rice, how could you make biryani? In the same way, without content, how can you communicate? Content is the prime ingredient for your communication. You need to have the right content. You need to have proficiency in your area. You are an instrumentation engineer. You need to have enough amount of knowledge in the area of instrumentation. Otherwise, how will you communicate? How will you communicate your understanding? Without content, it's like without dal, you prepare sambar. Who would eat it? Without rice, you prepare biryani. Who would eat it? Without content, you go somewhere to speak. Who will listen to you? Content is the prime ingredient of communication. That's why there's an old saying which goes like this: knowledge is power. You need to have knowledge, you need to have content. Only then you'll be able to express it in the form of communication. And that gives you a lot of power, a lot of attention. One of the first batch students of Electronics and Instrumentation Department of Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology, his name was T.C. Sendil Kumar. He was a gold medalist. He was from Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology. After his engineering, he worked with the same institute, Kamaraj College, and I was one of his students. He used to teach us. So he used to very oftenly say this. I quote T.C. Sendil Kumar: know everything about something. I repeat, know everything about something and know something about everything. I still remember that. 2005, I graduated. 15 years passed. I remember my teacher. Know everything about something and know something about everything. And by knowing it, by having the knowledge, you will have the right content when you communicate. Now, to give you an example, how did I do that? How did I improve my content? I did three things. Number one, by listening attentively to the class lectures. When the teacher teaches you in the class, I used to listen very attentively. I used to take notes. By taking notes, I was able to channelize my concentration to the lecture. Imagine if I just sit and listen, sometimes I may go into dreams. But when I write, when the teacher is taking class, I was able to channelize my concentration just to the lecture. That was number one. I learned a lot from my class teachers. Number two, reading. Reading the topics that was taught in the class. What I used to do was, whenever we have a break in between classes, during lunch breaks, after the class hours, I used to go to the library. Say, for example, today the topic was, say, transformer. Transformer was the topic. I used to go to the library. What I will do is, I will take 4 books that deals with the topic transformer. And then what I used to do is I will just read the topic transformer from 4 different books. I will not memorize anything. I'll just read with full concentration. Same topic, but from 4 books. At the end of the day, believe it or not, I will have extra knowledge on this particular topic called transformer. The class teacher might have referred to the textbook, but I would have referred to 4 additional books. Imagine my level of knowledge. Reading gives you content knowledge. Not only that, I used to read a lot of magazines, lot of engineering magazines that comes to a library. It speaks about the latest trends in engineering, the latest trends in electronics, the latest trends in instrumentation engineering. I used to read that. Keep yourself updated. That will give you content, that will give you knowledge. Number three, doing practical experiments in the lab. All engineering students, they have a lab. But what I used to do is after my college, I will take permission from my head of the department, sit in the lab, and I will try to do whatever I learned in the theory. Imagine if they teach me a transistor might work as a switch. Somebody has told that transistor will work as a switch. I will go to the lab after the class, take a transistor, put it in the breadboard, and I will check how the transistor is going to work as a switch. If transistor can be made to work as a switch, how it could be applied, where it could be applied, I will learn it practically in the lab. Nobody told me to do all these things because I found a need in me to improve my communication. For communication, I found that I need content when I speak. And I developed my content through these methods: listening to the class, reading, and then practical knowledge. So, 3 things. When did I do this? When I was in my second year, I dedicated myself only to this, to gain content. How did I get this? When I was in my second year, I went to a science exhibition which happened in Velamal Engineering College in Chennai. When I was in my second year, I went to a science exhibition with a project. I went there. There were around 650 different stalls exhibiting their projects, and we were competing with them. When I went there, I looked at the other participants, what they have done, what level of projects they've done, what level of project I have done. What's the difference between me from Kamaraj College and those students from a premier institute in Chennai or from some other place? What I found was they had a lot of content. They had a lot of content. And then I realized that they were not from second years. They were all from final years or third years. But I was from second year engineering. But I thought that I need to improve on my content. The entire second year, I was fully dedicated to my studies with basics. Okay? You have content. You have content. You develop your content. How does it matter? The second ingredient, confidence. When I went to the science exhibition, I found that people had a lot of confidence when they spoke. When the judges came, they asked them questions. They are able to answer with a lot of confidence. How did they get their confidence? They got their confidence from the content what they have developed. And I also found many of the students who did not have any content, yet they showed a lot of confidence, probably because of the language. So the language is also another component of confidence. The first component is your content. If you're knowledgeable enough, you can face any questions. You will be able to answer confidently. If you have language, that is also another component of confidence. You will be able to speak very well. If you are good command in English, you will be able to speak good in English. Even your content might be less, but with speaking, you might impress somebody. So I found these two kind of categories of people. One category, people with a lot of content, they were able to exhibit confidence. Another category, people with not much of content, I was better than them in terms of content, but their confidence level was very high because of their language. So what you need to do, you need to improve your content, not only on the content, but also on your language. English. Is language a barrier? If I ask you, each and every one of you, to make a presentation in your mother tongue, will you hesitate? No, you will not be able to present it with much more confidence in your mother tongue. But if I ask you to make the same presentation in English, how it would be. English is a foreign language. We need to make conscious efforts to learn that. It doesn't come like our mother tongue. Mother tongue comes just like that, it flows. English doesn't flow like that. You need to make conscious efforts to improve your English language. When I say about English language, the spoken English I'm talking about. How can you improve your spoken English? There's a famous saying in Tamil, Sithiramam Kai Palakam, Sendamilam Na Palakam. That doesn't apply only to Tamil. It also applies to the language of English. If you want to master English, you speak in English. If you want to master Malayalam, you speak in Malayalam. If you want to master in French, you speak in French. Without speaking, how will you be able to master in that language? You need to speak in English, not only the content, but also the language. Language is a medium. Language is not all about communication. If you don't know English, don't tell that you don't have communication. Tell them that you don't know English, not communication. You might have communication, but language is a problem. So language could be learnt anytime. Since you learnt Tamil, English can also be learned. After all, 26 letters of alphabets, you can easily learn English. So content is primary, language is there. The third component of confidence is stage fear. Stage fear. I'm sure all of you have stage fear. Do I have stage fear? Yes, of course, even I have stage fear. Does Narendra Modi have stage fear? Yes, even he does have stage fear. The most powerful speaker, Adolf Hitler, did he ever have stage fear? Yes, in his book it is written that he used to have butterflies flying in his stomach when he goes to a stage. So every human being have stage fear. But what you need to learn is you cannot eliminate stage fear. But what you need to do is you need to learn how to manage your stage fear. How to manage your stage fear, you need to learn. It's an art. And how it comes, as I said, painting comes with practice. Same as that, public speaking on stage comes with practice. You need to go on stage. You need to speak. Only then you will be able to come out as fear. I told you my experience when I went on stage first. My hands were shaking. My legs were shivering. My lips were shaking. Words was not coming out. My tongue, I was feeling thirsty. My tongue was stuck. I was feeling thirsty. That was the stage fear. But how did I overcome? Again, it happened in my classroom in Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology. Whenever I get an opportunity, I used to volunteer to go in front of my students, my classmate friends. I will go and speak on any topic. Sometimes teachers calls us, any one of you, if you want to share something, you come forward. I will volunteer. In which language will I speak? English language. To whom am I speaking? To my own friends. Did I have fear? Yes, I had fear. But then the more I went on stage and spoke, the fear started to reduce. Or I would say I was able to manage the stage fear. And my friends used to make fun of me. Every time I raise my hand, ma'am, I will go and speak. Ma'am, I will go and speak. But they didn't know that I had a real problem. I had a problem. I identified that problem. My problem was communication. And you guys have registered for this webinar because I appreciate that you also have identified that communication is your problem. But what steps do you take to improve on that? Go to the stage, speak in English, right? But when you go on stage, as I said, you need to have content. Without content, even with language, it's very difficult to manage. But with content and with language and with more practice by going on stage and communicating, speaking, you would be able to manage the stage fear. Thereby, the second ingredient of your communication, confidence, is achieved. So I said three ingredients for communication. One is content, second is confidence. Confidence has three ingredients, so three components. One is again content, second is the language, third is the stage fear, learning to manage the stage fear. The third ingredient in the communication, the 3C: content, confidence, and clarity. The third C is clarity. What do you mean by clarity? When you speak, what are you doing? You are exchanging your ideas, you are exchanging your thoughts with somebody. Now, you are not talking to me, but I am talking to you. Whatever I have in my mind, I am sharing it to you. Sometimes it may be conversation, two people talking. Whatever I have, I will communicate to you. Whatever you have in your mind, you will be able to communicate it to me. So the clarity is when you exchange this information, ideas, concepts, thoughts, it needs to be clear. It needs to be clear when you speak. What I have in my mind, I am sharing it, and I want you to understand that particular concept in the way I want you to understand. When I say whether it is fear or whether it is ecstasy, happiness, why am I shouting I might be shouting because I was painful, something bit me in my leg. But I should communicate it clearly to you to make you understand that I'm in danger. So communication should be clear. Number two, clarity. With respect to clarity, I'm telling your communication should be concise, crisp, to the point, right? Very crisp, short and sweet. In Tamil, my dad used to say, "Vala vala kola kola." When you speak, don't vala vala kola kola. Speak crisply. Speak crisply. Don't talk unnecessarily. Don't put unnecessary words. Number three, focus to the point. Whatever point you are talking, speak on that particular point. Speak clearly. Point number one, point number two, point number three, point number four, point number five. Speak clearly. That's the clarity what I'm talking about. The fourth aspect, whatever you speak should be relevant to the topic. Don't divert here and there, and people will not understand. They might lose track. Let your communication be relevant and be meaningful, and there should be a proper meaningful flow. When you speak, there should be a flow. See, now I'm telling you there are three components. I'm telling you communication has three ingredients: content, confidence, clarity. Whatever I'm talking is confined to only these 3 points. Very clear. What I need to do to gain content, what I need to do to gain confidence, what I need to do to gain clarity. Very, very crisp to the point, I'm telling you. So it should be like that. It should be in order. There should be a relevant and meaningful flow. Otherwise, the people who are listening may not understand what you are talking, or they might lose track. So that is the third and very important ingredient. You have content with you. Who knows? You are a knowledgeable person. Unless you express it clearly, only the other person will be able to understand that, yes, this guy knows something. Otherwise, he will not be able to understand. Right? I'll give you two examples. My own experience. We went to Karunya Institute in Coimbatore. When I was in my third year, we went to Karunya Institute in Coimbatore for a science exhibition. And I had two of my friends with me, and we went there. When we presented our projects in the exhibition hall, we found that there are so many projects which are being displayed. Few projects were on robotics, 2003-4 I'm talking about. And there was a project which was in the shape of a spider. It was a robo which can climb upwards. So a lot of projects. And my friends looking at that, they said that we don't have any chance to win the prize because a lot of robotics related projects have come. And our project is a very small project with the electronic circuit. And I said that, okay, fine. We had done our preparations. Come what may, we'll see. And the judge came. And then he asked some specific questions from our project. And I had educated my friends as well. So we all answered well. Suddenly, the judge asked us a question. My project was on a roadway project. And he said, can you implement it for Indian Railways? This was a totally unexpected question. I have done a project for roadways. Now the judge is asking, can you implement a similar one for Indian Railways? What do you do? What do you do? How do you answer this? Instantaneously, immediately I said, yes, sir. And he was smart enough. He said, explain me how. And because of my content, I was able to express my confidence, and with clear communication, I told them how it can be implemented for Indian Railways. If it has to be implemented for Indian Railways, what changes do I need to make to my circuit? Very clearly explained. You know what? We got the second prize. We didn't have any robotics. It was a simple triple five IC circuit. Triple five IC circuit. We won second prize. My another experience was in an interview. It was a panel interview. After my engineering, I wanted to do MBA. So I applied for various MBA colleges, leading colleges, and then they had a written examination. We had a group discussion, a presentation, and finally the interview round. So I was there in an interview. It was a panel interview. You remember? Panel interview is one to many. So three people were there, and I was in the interview. I'm an engineering student aspiring to become a manager. I want to do my MBA. So they were asking me a lot of questions. Suddenly, one of the panelists told me he took the mobile phone from his pocket, not of course the touch phone what you have nowadays, the old phone. He took the phone out of his pocket and he kept it on the table. He told me, "Can you tell me, you are an engineer, you are telling that you've gone to various science exhibitions, won a lot of prizes. Can you tell me what is inside this phone? Can you give me a block diagram of this particular phone and explain me what is inside?" Totally unexpected question. Went for an MBA interview and they're asking me engineering question. But to whom they're asking? I already have a lot of content. I was very clear. I told them the block diagram inside a phone and how it works. Fantastic, clear. I got admission in an MBA college which was ranked 25th in India. How did that happen? Content, confidence, clarity, all merging together. Imagine you make sambar, you forgot to put salt. You didn't add salt. Will the sambar taste good? All ingredients should go in the right proportion. So communication has three ingredients, as I said: content, confidence, clarity. All three should go together to make the impression. Okay. So this is all about communication. Now, how you need to improve, right? Tips for you to improve your communication skills. Work on all the three areas, whatever I spoke about: content, confidence, and clarity. Whether you write an email or write a letter, whether you speak, it has to have all these three ingredients. So my first tip is read, read, and read. Read from your textbooks, read from engineering magazines. Read. Keep yourself upbeat with the technology. Tip number two, search, search, and search. For what? For an opportunity to go up a stage and speak. And more importantly, you need to speak only in English. Nobody will come and invite you with a garland and say, "Hey, come on, come to stage, come to stage and speak." It's you need to search for an opportunity. Find out where you can go and speak. Volunteer. "Ma'am, I will speak. Sir, let me try once. Give me an opportunity." Ask. Search for an opportunity to go on stage and speak. But of course, with content and language. You need to work on these two things. So read, search. Number three, seek. Seek and seek feedback to continuously improve your communication. When you go in front of your class and speak, go to your teacher and ask, "Ma'am, how did I speak? Would you give me a feedback so that I can improve?" Talk to your close friends. If you go to everyone, they might put you down. They might make fun of you. Ignore that. Ignore that. You know you have a problem and you need to work on that. When you sit in the interview hall, your friend will not come and help you. It's you. Ignore that. People made fun of me. They tried to put me down. Probably they were tired of doing that. So you need to seek, approach, ask your friend to give a feedback. "Hey, how was my presentation? Would you give me some feedback? I can improve on that." And nowadays, we have our beautiful smartphones in our hand. What do? Record it. Stand in front of your mobile. Record your speech. Speak on any topic. Prepare yourself on a topic. Speak in front of your mobile, record it. You yourself can view that. Send it to a teacher, ask a feedback. Send it to your close friends, ask a feedback. How was your speech? Keep improving on that. The fourth tip is improvement. Improvement is a never ending process. Improvement in communication is never skills. I started my improvements in my classroom. My classroom in Kamaraj College was my a place where I started to improve my communication. I started from there. Then I moved to science exhibitions. I went outside. I wanted to compete with all other those students from leading colleges. I wanted to compete with them in terms of content, in terms of confidence, in terms of clarity. And I won many, many, many prizes at national levels in science exhibitions because I had this particular skill called communication. When I went to MBA, this skill helped me. When I went for a job interview after my MBA, this skill helped me. When I was in the bank, I was working as a manager, senior manager. This communication skill helped me to communicate with the top officials, to communicate with my clients, to communicate with all the channel partners in able to clearly communicate what I wanted to tell them and what I wanted them to do for me. I was able to convince them with the help of these communication skills. If I was able to improve this communication, I told you, do you remember the first story I started with? The coconut story. I went to a store to buy a coconut. I didn't open my mouth. I need not talk in English to the shopkeeper. I should just ask in Tamil only, my mother tongue. But I did not. I had a lot of hesitation, lot of fear to speak to a shopkeeper to ask for a coconut. But imagine where I went. I spoke to a classroom of 60 students. I started there, moved to a science exhibition where there are people, 500, 600 people. And once I got an opportunity to speak to a crowd of 2,500 students. That is the improvement. That is the journey towards excellent communication. You need to continuously improve. I hope I had covered all the points. If you have any questions, you might post it in this particular chat window so that I can address if you have any doubts. It is with a lot of blessed feelings in my heart I propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. Firstly, I thank Almighty God for showering the blessings on me and to enable me to be the speaker for this webinar. Secondly, I thank Dr. Anant Acharya, the principal, Kamaraj College of Engineering and Technology, and the entire management team for giving me this opportunity to be the speaker for this webinar session. I thank you, sir. I thank the entire management team. Thirdly, with a lot of respect and gratitude, I place a bouquet of thanks to Dr. S. Jayadevi, Head of the Department, Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, and Professor J. Uma Maheshwari, the webinar coordinator, for organizing this webinar so beautifully and also inviting me to be part of this webinar. Thank you, professors. Last but never the least, I thank each and every aspiring engineers, the beautiful and innovative young minds, the future leaders who are listening to this webinar for taking your time to attend this webinar. Once again, thanking each and every one of you. I remain. Have a blessed evening and a happy weekend. Thank you.